You're listening to the Gem Mint Podcast by GFNF. Your weekly breakdown of sports cards, hobby news, and everything in between. Here's your hosts, Jake and Nico.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Gem Mint by GFNF, presented by Collector Caps. It is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Shout out to the Star Wars nerds out there.
Star Wars, baby.
Yeah, pretty crazy day today. I would say most of the past week, most of the action was today.
Yeah, very expensive day.
Yeah, it was pretty busy. But yeah, let's hop into it. So, no Target this week. I think that was kind of expected at this point. It's just following their usual pattern here. We did have Walmart again today, which again was like a pretty lackluster. There was really nothing. I mean, it was Bowman Blasters. I think more like Donruss basketball. No Mosaic football. So that seems to be like pretty much done.
Isn't that weird? I mean, based on how much we saw last year of Mosaic football,
yeah, it's
wild. We got it for what, 2, maybe 3 weeks at the most, and the last week was not very much stock.
Yeah, at least on Walmart last week was pretty crazy low. Yeah. Target's like, I think we knew last drop was going to be the last one for Target, because typically they'll just unload like everything that they have left scraps wise, because there was like cellos, hangers, like everything.
Right.
So I think that's like in the past. We don't think we'll see any Contenders megas on Walmart, because those believe are Excel only. So that's why I've been seeing them at Target and Barnes & Noble. Right. I think that's been the only 2 spots so far.
Walgreens had them.
Oh, Walgreens had them too?
Yeah, yep.
I must have missed that post. But yeah, those are surprisingly like, they're selling like $65, $70, and there's been like a lot of people worried about them, which, like, first of all, $65, like if you're into it for flip, that's $20 a box profit. Like, that's honestly, for like today's market, that's pretty good. Yeah. But I know you have the same kind of feeling as I do with football products with autographs, especially Contenders, where you can get like a several $1,000 card in it. You could get obviously like severely skunked as well. Sure. But I think
you ticket auto.
Yeah, I mean, I think the like, obviously you can't open it expecting to hit like, an absolute monster, but the chance is there, and I think that's what people want that can't afford a Contenders hobby box, which is $700-800, which you can get like equally as skunked in those.
Oh yeah,
as a $100 mega box. So yeah, I'm in those for like the long haul, I'd say.
Yep.
And by that I mean like a month or two. Because
I don't even think it'll take that long to be
honest. I don't think so either. We have a lot of people buying them up at 60, 65, and a lot of people just selling them. So we'll keep an eye on that though. We also did see Fanatics today, as well as Topps. So Topps had, I think we might be touching on this a little bit, but Topps did have a Montgomery Club release for Bowman Hobby. So 2022 Bowman release day is today.
Happy Bowman Day.
Yeah, the Hobby released Montgomery Club last night at $299, which is $100 more than last year's. 1 box per count. So it came out to like $330, like with tax, depending on where you lived. I think shipping was like $10. No free shipping.
It almost seems like, to me, that they released Hobby at a higher price than people were expecting, and that's why they gave it to Montgomery first, to make sure they at least sold some.
Yeah, well, there's no going back though, right? So
ridiculous.
You kind of just like, whatever you get. But then we saw Fanatics, which, like, this has kind of been the trend. It's kind of weird, like, obviously, like, I guess Fanatics owns Topps now, but it's just like this with Draft as well. Topps only drops Hobby, no HTA Jumbos, which is the 3 auto box. Fanatics comes and drops Jumbos, Hobby, as well as retail boxes. So they had jumbos at $5.99, which was excellent. Like you can't get that anywhere else right now for $5.99. So we had a bunch of people scoop those up. They dropped on lids as well, so it was like a couple different sites. But pretty great price. I got a few. I know you got a couple. A lot of people hit. Obviously, hobby, there was no point in going after that, seeing as Topps was cheaper. And the retail boxes, 150 is probably like the right number for those.
Yeah.
But
I think the pre-orders I saw online were $199, so it's right in that range. For $30 on the blasters, I think that the amount of hits that came out of there, I think I opened 12 total and had 15 hits, color autos, first autos, some colored first, paper. But for the price and the price per card, when you compare to how expensive hobby is, the value's great so far. We'll see if that continues though.
yeah, I mean, blasters like typically aren't like the chase retail product. It's usually the mega boxes.
Yeah.
So
and mega boxes are going to be fire this year. I'm a little bit worried about what the price is going to be on those. I think they're going to be 50, but I'm hoping. I mean, what were they, 30 last year? And
yeah, I think 30, 34, 35, 39.99 is. I can't see them putting them up to 50. That would make zero sense with no guaranteed autos in it.
Yeah.
But hopefully they don't prove me wrong and do that. But I mean, I just see a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I'd rather rip a hobby box, worth of blasters than a hobby box." Obviously, I did forget about this. Like, you have the green autos in retail. That Benny and the Jet auto is in retail. So the only place you could hit it is in a blaster or mega.
When push comes to shove, realistically, if you break down the price per card and the amount of hits, you probably are better off ripping retail's worth of hobby box, especially at $300 or higher.
Yeah.
Obviously, $349 to $399 is about as cheap as you can get it now outside of Topps. And I don't know. I mean, you get one auto. If you're opening a jumbo and you have three, it's a different story, especially at the price we got them at today. But hobby boxes, if you're gonna pull one hit that could be a dud, just like it could be a dud in a blaster, but you're spending all that money for one hit. You'll have some color sprinkled through there, but I haven't opened a blaster without color in it yet.
Yeah, I mean, the Chase and Bowman's obviously the autographs. So I mean, like the color does well, but I mean, your guy, like if you hit color, your guy's got to be like an absolute stud for it to kind of like pull in any sort of real money in the end. So obviously the autos of the Chase, you were just really paying for the guarantee with the hobby stuff. But yeah, I'm a jumbo person all day. I always think, especially at $5.99, if you're ripping, I think it's just your best bet to make out like decent in it. So
send me all the Bowman mega boxes.
Yeah, I like mega boxes too.
I opened 150 of them last year. I'm hoping to do the same this year, as long as they're not 50.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna. Don't even speak that into existence.
That's true.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for kind of like the retail hobby rundown this past week. Let's hop into some hobby happenings here. I think one of the people that kind of brought some life back to the hobby, got a lot of people back into it, is out there trolling Angel Hernandez, who's been forever heckled as like the worst umpire in baseball. So Phil was signing his Archives Retired Players Series cards, and he signed one, "Thank you, Angel Hernandez," and tweeted it out. So he signed.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
One umpire that I think is worse than Angel Hernandez. Who do you think?
I could see him, but I'm forgetting the name.
Joe West.
Yeah, Joe West. Yeah, I could just see him in my head.
It just infuriated you.
Yeah.
Just the thought of him.
Like if you asked me to draw him, I could easily draw him. Like yeah, I know what he looks like. So
he's robust.
Yeah, definitely robust. But yeah, shout out to Phil. That's just a fun
Yeah, that's
thing.
cool.
I don't know. Maybe Topps will pull it, but
Those
I
kind of
doubt it.
chase cards, man, those are fun. I mean, that's what we were just talking about. Benny Montgomery doing the goofy signings and stuff. It seems to be catching on a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Phil's been doing it forever. Like, he's
Right.
been inscribing shit like that, like, forever. And someone actually
Mhm.
tweeted at him when he tweeted that out. It was like, Benny Montgomery did it first. He's like, boy, you've not been around long enough to
Well, he's
to realize.
Phil put a bounty on some of his a couple years back. I forgot what they were, but he was offering something.
It's the Miggy. I think it's the Miggy is my daddy
Yeah, yep, that's what it was.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, Miggy owned him at the plate when
Yeah.
Phil was doing him in the last couple of years. But
Yep. Yeah, but just some cool fun stuff. We also have a 10-year-old son and his dad have created an app to kind of help with pricing called it's pronounced Collex, CULLX. And it's pretty much just like if you've ever used Alt Price Checker, where you can kind of take a picture of the card. Kind of works like that, but you could do pretty sure like anything to kind of get like instant value. So this is good for like card shows and stuff. So you're not sitting there like on eBay or 130 point searching the card.
Yeah.
So obviously everyone has their phone with them now, so you could just take a picture and get presented with the price. I'm pretty sure it is free. Is it free?
yeah, it is. Yeah, I think I think it's benefits mostly like brand new people in the hobby that don't necessarily know how
Yeah.
to look up Fernando Tatis card number 410 2019. Like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It makes it easy. You just snap a quick pic of the front and back, and it'll link you to the card itself and recent comps.
It's got great reviews. I haven't used it personally, but
Yeah,
I mean it's
Try it out.
simple. It's like it doesn't really have much to it. It's got pretty much one purpose, and as long as it works well at that one purpose, I don't see why people wouldn't like it. I think more tools, the better at your hands. Just like we see more and more apps like Alt, this Collects app, other market movers, stuff like that. The growth in the market has been pretty crazy. So there's been some recent statistics. This is kind of crazy, saying that the hobby growth projected at 130 billion from 20 billion by 2030. So, what are your thoughts on that? Is that like a ridiculous, a little bit of ridiculous growth there? Or is it are they kind of banking on the fact that Fanatics grows at such a like exponential pace that the kind of hobby's gonna have to follow?
Yeah, it's a 650% increase. I guess it's possible. I look forward to like what's coming up in the hobby and stuff. Obviously, you have some big changes with the Fanatic stuff, but you have LeBron James's kid that's going to be a rookie here in a couple years, and you're going to have the possibility of some dual autos, or if and Fanatics may own that too if they make a move on Upper Deck. You have some big name kids of all-time greats coming up as rookies. So the hobby is looking up. There's a lot of money that's moved into the hobby over the past couple of years, as we know. Whether or not it gets to 650% of what it is right now, I don't know. I think it'll increase. It's so hard to see it being so much higher than what it was in 2020, but if it does, we're gonna do pretty well.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty crazy increase to me. But I guess like until Fanatics like proves us wrong here, you kind of just have to bet on them. Like how fast they can. You don't know what they're gonna acquire either. Like just them like alone as as the new face of the hobby, they could go and acquire something that we just didn't think about and grow it that way. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess it's good.
The foreign markets are the amount of money that has come into the hobby from Japan and China and stuff over the last couple of years too is wild. So there's definitely room, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see kind of how it works out.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think people sometimes forget kind of how big those markets are.
Right.
I'm kind of seeing it a little bit more with being kind of heavy into the F1 scene. A lot of stuff comes from over there. So yeah, it's good though. It's really awesome to see. eBay, I hate this. This is so stupid. So they expanded their authenticity program to include raw cards at 250 plus, which is fine. But now they're doing slabs over $2,000. No one asked for this, at all.
No.
Like, this is so stupid. And it, honestly, it just comes from these a-holes that are cracking real cards, sending them in to get real, cert numbers, cracking the slabs and resealing with a fake card with the, legit PSA label. I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass. Like, you have a high dollar card. You want it there. Like, if I'm selling a $2,000 card, typically I'm sending it overnight next day because I want it in the mail, the least amount of time as possible.
Yep.
So now I got to send it to these dudes just to tell me that the authenticator that authenticated the card now needs to be authenticated again. This is stupid.
The slab, the only thing I could see upside if they did, and they don't, is if they followed the way they did it with shoes, where the seller wouldn't pay fees on.
Shoes is such a bit, to me at least, maybe I'm ignorant, but shoes is such a bigger fraudulent market than sports cards, especially fake raw cards, whatever, especially graded fake cards. You really got to go through a lot of hoops and know what you're doing.
Right.
It's a lot easier to get your hands on a pair of fake Jordans than it is a fake Jordan 86 Fleer that looks good, has a real cert number. It just, I don't see the need for this at all. Maybe they have that whole vault system coming out on eBay. It kind of confuses me because eBay has their vault system. You got PSA backing this. I saw Nat Turner tweet about it. But then you got PSA teaming with Golden for their vault system. There's so many goddamn hands in this cookie jar with this stuff. I don't even know what the hell's going on. But we'll see. It's going to keep creeping down, just like it did with the raw cards. We're eventually going to be at a $500 slab has to get authenticated again. So I don't know. I hate it.
eBay is just the worst all around.
Yeah. I hate that they're such a good marketplace for customer acquisition, but I hate them.
So, speaking of eBay, did you look at the sales prices of Ja Morant's Chronicles card?
I saw that tweet before seeing any of the card sales. I was so confused why it went so viral, knowing that
it's not the first time either.
No, I know, knowing that this blew up months ago.
Right.
Obviously, when young Dolph passed away, that was obviously someone realized, oh crap, he's in the back of this Ja card. It blew up. It was selling for crazy. Then it came back down to earth. And then now it happened again because some Twitter account tweeted it and it just absolutely blew up. I guess Ja's playing well, but at the same time, I don't understand it.
I definitely capitalized on it.
Yeah, if you have them, sell them. There's no reason to not sell them at this point. But yeah, interesting. Bobby Witt, he finally has his first home run in the majors.
Big bomb.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The ball was thrown back into the stands pretty much.
Into the fountain, right?
It was thrown into a fountain. I'm pretty sure they got it back. I hope they did. Even if someone jumped in there and grabbed it, they're going to get it back. We did see, I forgot to touch on this before, they did the same thing with J-Rod. I guess J-Rod also hit his first home run in between the last time we recorded as well. So both of them finally have one on the board. Topps did release the Topps Now first home run rookie card autos, as well as the base one for both of those guys. So they're pretty pricey. $299 for the out of 99 version, $399 for the blue out of 49, and then I think it was $499 excuse me, for the purple out of 25. That's pretty high. I think the out of 99 was a pretty safe play. One of those things that you can use your Topps Now rewards on as well. So we had a couple members hit those as I was getting my lunch today and missed it after I put a post about it yesterday. Still very upset about that.
I was on all morning staring at it, and
I knew it was going to be a weird time with Bowman releasing today, but I just looked away and it flew. So I'm not surprised though.
Cool though. It's a cool moment. Definitely. And the Topps Now cards actually grade pretty well usually.
Yeah. I've seen some people get some parallels and stuff that have been kind of beat up. But hopefully with the autos are maybe taken a little bit better care of. They are on card, so you got to rely on these guys also not beating them to shit. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. This next one's sickening.
Yeah.
2021 Prism Football. Pre-order prices are set across the board at right about $1,700 a box.
So this makes me wonder about first off the line because it's going to start at $2,000, unless Panini sees this and is like, "Oh, we're going to start this shit at $4,000," which would be pretty crazy. But
if they don't, and it does start at $2,000, I would have to assume it's going to go instant news.
Yeah, if these things are selling at $1,700 for hobby, we've seen first off the line hold extremely strong. I want to check, just because the WWE market has taken a little bit of it's taken a little step back. But I know first off the line was holding pretty strong. I just want to see box prices.
I would have to assume they're down a little bit, but still probably above purchase. I mean, they're not below purchase price.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of them. No, there's still. Well, there hasn't been a sale in a little bit. I guess people really aren't selling too many of them, or don't want to let them go cheap, which I completely understand. Yeah. Oh wow, someone's got a case, $27,000.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the cheapest on eBay is still $2,000 for first off the line. So first off the line has seemed to kind of hold up pretty good.
Yeah.
Football, I feel like football isn't always the best to go after for first off the line. But if we are having hobby at $1,700, first off the line for $300 more is like a no brainer.
Usually it's the same amount of autos, and you get the bonus parallels in there.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is driving this price? Because like you can go. I'm pretty sure you can go buy a 2020 box for about $1,900 right now. So
probably
who's going to go buy this for $1,700? It really doesn't make sense.
I think it's a mixture of a bunch of things. It's probably a mixture of the fact that this is way later than it should be out. People have been waiting for it for a long time, and it's we're getting into the last three good products of football being Prism Optic Select. And then we're in for a rough year for football products, just based on the draft class and how the hobby's reacting to this new class. So I think it's kind of probably a little bit of combo of both of those.
Yeah, to me, the whole delayed thing, I feel like is not enough to drive. With Select coming out next week, I just don't think it's enough to drive this up like $600-$700 over what it should be. It should be about $1,000. Probably should be less, but I don't know. We'll see. Again, it's pre-order prices. I think they'll come back down. But yeah, fingers crossed that they do. The NFL draft has concluded. I didn't watch a single minute of it. Did you?
I watched a couple. Yeah, a little bit here and there. It was, even they were talking about it on TV. It's just like, this is not the hype that's normally behind the draft. It seems like the entire Georgia defense got selected. Like basically the first round was a majority of the Georgia defense.
Yeah.
And then I think there was one quarterback in the first round and a couple in the second, but realistically quarterbacks are what drives the NFL side of the hobby mainly, and it was a lackluster draft class. So I think with NBA looking the way it does, with their draft class and the kind of, I mean, obviously Cade Cunningham and that kind of stuff, people are excited about that. But basketball is so far down right now that I think we're going to need baseball to carry this thing for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Matt and I were actually talking a little bit about some of the basketball prices, and they actually are coming up just a little bit on some of the retail products. I think with Anthony Edwards having a good, obviously they're out of the playoffs, but he played extremely well. I think people are a little bit more bullish on that. But yeah, I mean, this is good for us for 2021 football products, just with how you can't call it weak, like a weak draft class, because like these dudes could go and be all pros and be absolute studs. But just for the hobby side of things, it just like doesn't really light a flare under anyone to go and want to rip this. It's going to be interesting to see how people react just because football, especially in the retail side, is usually the hottest market. Just because I don't know, it's affordable. You can get big hits. I mean, obviously you could chase like second, third year guys, but like you can only have so many goddamn Tom Brady mosaic cards and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess it's a good thing we got stuff so late for this year, so we still have stuff to buy and sell that's worthwhile. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this past week in the hobby. Moving on to some stuff going on in the sports world, it's actually been pretty crazy. Trevor Bauer, he received a 2-year suspension from the MLB. I don't think he's officially been charged at all in this case, but the MLB has went ahead and suspended him 2 years. He immediately appealed it. I don't know. I don't really care for the guy, like, at all. The kind of this aside, just was never really a fan of him.
He's an interesting character. He's very active on social media and he's a big YouTuber and stuff like that. But he has a cocky arrogance to him that
he reminds me of, like, he's Phil Hughes but arrogant.
Yeah, yep, that's good. I like that. I agree with that. I don't know. I mean, he was found not guilty, right? Like, did they drop charges against him?
Yeah, I don't think he has any charges against him.
So, other than civil, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know how that works with the MLB. Like, they suspend him for.
I mean, NFL could do whatever the hell they want. It's like the player's conduct. I mean, they did it to Zeke. They're doing it to Watson.
Rob Manfred needs to join Goodell and stuff on their own special island away from sports in general.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I did see. I forget exactly what it was, but I did see they asked A-Rod what he would do as commissioner for a day, and he had some pretty good stuff. It's slipping my mind right now exactly what he had. I remember there was one. He wanted to shorten the strike zone, but widen it. So, yeah, which I kind of like.
Okay. So people are going to be using like basically wiffle bats. You're going to have real light bats that are long to get to the far outside.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather get struck out on like a pitch a little bit more outside than something that at my ankles.
That's true.
But I also am not a major league player, so
you probably have input from Angel Hernandez and Joe West.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to help them out. Another suspension, Deandre Hopkins. This was kind of shocking. He got 6 games. For PEDs. It's probably just something he was taking that either he missed or trainer missed that had some trace amounts or whatever. I really don't think he needs steroids. I know he was hurt, so he probably was rehabbing. But that sucks for Kyler.
He was very. Did you see the interview with him about it?
No. He
was blown away. He's like, I have no idea what happened. Like he's like, I'm so careful about what I put into my body, how I train. So I don't think it was intentional at all. Maybe he'll maybe he'll have some luck with his appeal and stuff. You know.
Yeah, get down to 4 games or something. I mean, he's like a class act. Like he, his whole story, like with his mom and stuff, it's just crazy. If you haven't seen it, I think they did a ESPN special on it. But yeah, he's a really cool dude, and obviously like top one. You know, him and DeAndre. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank?
DeAndre, where?
Why am I drawing a blank on ex-Packers receiver?
Oh, Devontae.
Devontae, thank you. Him and Devontae are like 1A, 1B for me. I think they're like the 2 best in the league. Yeah, absolutely. So sucks when you have top player not playing.
They're very similar. Their quarterbacks, on the other hand, or their old quarterbacks at least, are basically the same minus a foot and a half.
Yeah.
Tyler's a little guy.
Yeah, he is a little guy.
You've been following the Brittany Griner stuff?
I haven't since we talked about it last. Is she still stuck in Russia?
She's still detained. Yeah, she's still in Russian jail. But for those you don't remember, she's all-star at WNBA forward, really good player. When she was traveling with the team through Russia, security at the airport went through her bag and found some marijuana vape cartridges along with some tobacco vape cartridges, both of which are banned. And they detained her, took her and arrested her. And this was back in February, early February, and she's been detained since. So the U.S. just declared her wrongfully detained, which means that diplomatic solutions, I guess, are now in play. But still, scary situation. A lot of times why some of these Olympic athletes and other people like that are nervous to go to these games and stuff in countries with crazy laws.
Yeah, miss me with that. Not going over there ever. No
Hard
no
pass.
desire. Yeah, hard pass.
Yep.
My Yankees,
Ugh.
they are on a 11-game winning streak.
No shit, they steal signs. They probably have a 100-game win streak.
Aaron Judge is on a revenge tour for everyone that said he wasn't worth the money.
Love it.
Yeah, he's just absolutely demolishing baseballs.
He's
So
a good
cool.
dude too.
Yeah, he is. Just very keep to himself kind of guy. So
Yep.
yeah, shout out to them. Keep it up. They might honestly just like win every the rest of the season.
Beat the 20-game streak record held and tie with the Athletics, and I can't remember who the Athletics tied with that. But obviously, if you guys remember from the movie Moneyball, that early 2000s Athletics team tied the record at 20 games. Do the Yankees beat that?
Probably not. But they might get close, but that's pretty hard to do.
Their pitching is so good recently, and now that their bangers are starting to hit, they're dangerous.
Yeah, they really just got to score a couple runs a game. And their bullpen can kind of carry it. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll check in next week and we'll be like, oh man, they're only a couple games away. Start getting real. Yeah. Des Bryant looks like he's trying to come back again. He wants to play for the Cardinals. Maybe this, I don't know. Did this come out after the Deandre Hopkins news?
I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with that, but
Okay.
he's your old boy. Obviously, you're a Cowboy guy. What do you think about that? You think he's got it in him?
He could probably be like serviceable. He was an absolute stud, and like if anyone says he wasn't an elite receiver, they don't know what they're talking about. Like he absolutely was a beast out there. Yeah. Like you threw anything up, and I know he has that drop against the Packers. That was a catch. You throw anything up there, he was catching it. Like he seriously had some high point in his game. He like was pretty much like DeAndre Hopkins type esque player. Yeah. I guess Hopkins is a Des Bryant-esque player since he came after him, but it'd be cool to see. I don't know. I don't know how old he is. I think he's got to be mid-30s now at this point, right?
Yeah, he sat out a year too. So I mean, I'd like to see him. I love seeing those stories of these people that sit out. Like, look what Gronkowski did. Gronkowski was
Gronkowski's a beast.
Witten did it. Witten was in the booth for, I don't know if he had that productive a year or not really, but
yeah,
he was in the announcer booth for a year and then came back. So it's doable.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, if you could play, they'll find a way to get you the ball and get you on the team. So if he could play, he should end up somewhere.
Wide receiver one if he ends up with the Cardinals for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, at this point, it does seem like it. This is pretty cool. So they did release the schedules for the NFL, and the Seahawks and Bucks, interesting choice of teams here, are set to play in Germany. So obviously we've had the games in London, which I love, just for the fact that like you get football literally from like
8 a.m.
Yeah, 9 a.m. if you live on the best coast, all the way to night. So it's like a damn marathon. Like you feel like you've actually achieved something, but like you've just been sitting there watching football for like 12 hours.
I don't know about you, but on Sundays during football season, watching a whole day of football, you feel accomplished. It's like you're maybe even a little tired.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's tough work for sure. It's not for the faint heart. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then we have the Miami Grand Prix a couple days away. So like the F1 guys have been in Miami this whole week, living it up. George Russell was at the Heat game. Who else was there? Oh, I saw Pierre Gasly he had dinner with Michael Jordan last night.
I don't like Pierre.
So that's pretty cool. Jordan might be dipping his toes into
that would be great,
or possibly paying him off to crash someone, and he will be betting on the race.
Pierre Gasly would probably take him up on that. I don't like that guy.
Just because he's French.
No, just his attitude and cockiness. And
Oh, I like him.
you guys have watched the Netflix series, but Drive to Survive. But I don't know. He bugs me.
Yeah.
Who do you like to win? I'm telling you my pick right now. I think my boy Leclerc comes back, and Team Ferrari comes back with signs with a vengeance after what happened last time, and they take the dub.
I think Verstappen's going to take it. If he finishes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. He's got to finish, so he's got a track record of not finishing recently. So,
Yeah.
this is kind of interesting one. There's been a umpire shortage in high school sports, causing pretty big mass game cancellations. Why do you think that is? Like, you think people just don't want to deal with parents?
Probably. I mean, I've seen some funny videos. Obviously, you follow some baseball groups and stuff, but you've ever seen some entitled high school umpires that think they're umping in the pros that are tossing pads out and stuff? And I don't know. I think to be able to ump high school baseball, it's right on the border of like not as big a deal as obviously the majors and college and stuff like that, but still competitive and starting to turn where games matter for these players' futures and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe the stress level with parents and how the world is right now. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I wouldn't want to deal with snot-nosed parents, so that's for sure.
Yeah. Miss me with that.
Yeah, I can relate to to some people that are kind of hung up the ump gear.
Right.
Yeah. RG3's trying to apparently make a comeback. Or he's getting some interest after running a 4.48 40-yard dash. Apparently, I guess if you're fast, you could still play football. He was just like...
He wasn't very good when he played in his prime.
Yeah, he was okay. He wasn't bad, but like he wasn't... I don't know. He just wasn't like elite. So I don't see why now, as he's older, still like injury prone, why he would be any better. But I don't know. It's tough to make it as a quarterback in the NFL. There's not a lot of them, so we'll see.
Brutal. Let's check in on our rookies. This is my favorite part.
Yeah, go ahead. Give us the update.
Wander still basically stayed the same, producing. He batting .319, slugging .560 with a .904 OPS. His on-base percentage is .344. That's pretty solid across the board. That's about what he was last week, a couple digits different. But we saw some major upticks for J-Rod, Bobby Witt. Torque is struggling, it seems like. I know he got his first bomb the other night, but J-Rod and Bobby Witt have jumped pretty significantly. Bobby went up almost 40 points in batting average, up to 238 now. Obviously, we talked about his first home run, and jumped over 100 points on the OPS, which is cool. He's up to 637 now, which has surpassed J-Rod. J-Rod also, he went up, pretty close to 70 on the OPS. He's batting 226 now, 25 points added to the batting average. 310 up on the slugging, so he was up from 267. So J-Rod, Bobby Witt, Franco, all looking pretty solid. People were freaking out early on, right? I mean, it was 3 weeks. Give these kids are young, like they're 21, 20, 19 years old. Give them time to blossom a little bit.
Yeah, people were freaking out. Also, J-Rod leads the league in stolen bases. It was 9 last time I checked. So
that's not a stat you're going to see on most people checking and stuff like that too. That's
I think people didn't realize his elite base running. So I think this is, if you kind of were in tune with it.
Did you see the catch he made the other night when he
blew in the bubble?
Yeah, he blew a bubble with the bubble gum while he's diving.
Yeah, it was a little cocky.
What a stud.
But yeah, it was pretty cool.
He needs that. It's like if everything's so uniformed and straight laced, it's like that's not why kids are going with their dads to the ballpark to watch a game. It's just I love it. Give a little flash.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's pretty much it around the sports world. So we could roll into the high rollers, high dollar sales. Probably one of the craziest weeks. We have our little list here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't see that one at first. So I was like, how did that not make the list?
That's not there.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
Our boy, man, Brett. No, our boy that we had on, Brett, who had the Platinum 101 first edition Wander Franco. Real crazy story with this one. PSA 8 is what Golden graded at, put it up on their auction. It was at $11,200 as time was expiring and got a last second bid. And how Golden works is if you get a bid in the last 30 minutes, you get 30 minutes of extended time. So the clock went on for another 30 minutes. And now in extended time, every time there's a bid, the clock resets to 30 minutes. So it got all the way up. It ended up at $78,000. So he made out. He had no fees on that. So he did pretty well.
Yeah, he had his little live stream going too.
Yeah, had a live stream on YouTube.
There's a lot of people in there. I was in there.
He bought a bunch of. He went to our local Meijer down the road and bought a bunch of the blister packs of Series 1 that has the purple card in it. Only place to get it's at Meijer. Those are pretty fun to open. But he was opening. He let obviously if you stretch stuff out, you get better YouTube content. But he ended up saying, "I'm going to rip one of these for every single bid that comes in," and that's what he was doing. And it was a good time. Golden actually tweeted out about him and his live stream, which was cool to see.
Yeah, so happy for him. It's always a little stressful with Golden,
Right?
just because usually in any of these auction houses, these prices sit low until the last 20-25 minutes. Then it starts going off. A couple other big ones here. 2017 National Treasures Mahomes Silver True RPA out of 25. PSA 10 for $246,000. So his stuff is obviously still just as high. 2019 National Treasures Ja Morant RPA out of 5. BGS 9/510. $518,000.
Wow.
Crazy. He looks worth it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's the what I thought was cool. I forgot to bring this up. Speaking of that Chronicles card that we were talking about earlier, there was another Chronicles card, if you remember the Luminance, where he was posterized dunking over someone, and that was actually a Photoshop photo for that card in Chronicles. But he actually did that to someone the other night. Jumped from just inside the free throw line and just right over the top of someone. The dude's incredible.
Yeah, it's that's just crazy. But I totally get why it's good timing on the sale. Then we have one of the craziest sales. Yeah, so the 2020 Topps Chrome Lewis Hamilton Superfractor Portrait, probably the biggest card in the set aside from the Auto Superfractor. PSA 7, which really doesn't matter. Grades don't exist on 2020 Topps Chrome Formula 1. $900,000.
Unbelievable.
It was at $450, I think, before it got to the end, and it made its way with buyer's premium all the way to $900,000.
That's insane.
It's nuts. Love it. I hope we get to see who bought it. I'm just curious. Another big one. Yeah, I don't know. Probably that Shine, dude.
You buying that, not showing it off?
No, you have to. Yeah, you literally have to. 2000 Playoff Contenders Tom Brady auto out of 100. BGS 810 auto, $912,000. I don't know how many are graded higher than that. I can't imagine.
Only one, I heard.
Yeah, because there's probably not many graded being out of 100.
Nope.
So pretty crazy sale there. And then a 1960 Sporting News Babe Ruth PSA 6. Insane grade for a card from 1916. A cool $1.5 million. So. Did you speaking of these high sales real quick, did you see the Jackie Robinson game worn jersey? So I saw it had a reserve price on it.
So
did it actually sell?
Well, I don't know. It ended at $5.5 million, but if you go into the Golden auction results, it has a weird, like all the other cards show how much they sold for, right?
Yeah.
This has something weird on it. It says like, here, I'll pull it up, but it's got like it doesn't have the number next to it. It's, let's see if I can.
It might not have sold just because it had a reserve on it, but it was it was really high.
If it had a reserve on it, why not? Okay, yeah. So it normally says final price.
Yeah.
And it has the number of what it sold for. This said pass.
Interesting. I mean, I don't remember ever seeing
reserve not met.
I don't remember ever seeing a reserve listing. Before.
5.5 million was.
I mean, there's not many of those laying around, right? So,
well, it says previously Robinson's 1947 Brooklyn Dodgers rookie season home jersey sold for 2.6 in April 2018.
I mean, that's what, 4 years ago? Different market now, for sure. So
there's a video out there on the page of Ken Golden holding it with white, looks like
pass
with mine gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that.
Yeah, delete that from my memory. Yeah. Before we hop into the polls of the week, just want to make sure you guys are protecting those hits at all costs here. And the homies over at Collector Caps have the perfect solution for you. So Collector Caps, for those that don't know, pretty much is just like a silicone cover for your top-loaded cards that work for shipping. If you just want to keep dust out of it, it's just alternate solution to Scotch tape, painter's tape, the stuff that ruins top loaders that we spend all this money on. So yeah, Collector Caps has a multitude of options with designs, custom colors, and whatnot. It's just a really well-made product, fully endorsed by a ton of big names around the hobby. We have some GF&F ones in the works at the moment, so those will be dropping soon. Hopefully looking to give a couple of those away on here or in the Discord. So ditch the tape. Even painter's tape. It leaves residue. I don't care what anyone says. And get some Collector Caps.
Yeah, get some custom ones.
Get my face on it, my name, whatever.
Absolutely. Maybe a calendar shot. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. One for each day of the week.
Kyle and Matt are running things over there. They're both good dudes, and they can set you up with some custom ones. If you're going, especially if you're live on Whatnot a lot or on Instagram or wherever breaking stuff, and get your brand out there.
Yeah, that's literally what it's all about, is building your brand and putting out a good product. So why not put your good product out with this good product? Yeah, if you guys want to check Collector Caps out, you could find them on Instagram and Twitter at Collector Caps. And you could also shop on their store at collectorcaps.shop and use code GFNF for 15% off. So be sure to check out Collector Caps. So let's roll into the massive pulls of the week. Another pretty big white sparkle, Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. From our these guys will never leave.
From the crop top homies.
From the crop top boys themselves. So Roman Reigns 101 auto from Backyard Breaks. Pretty big card. So we had the Triple H last week. We have the Roman Reigns this week. I know the Stone Cold has also been pulled. I saw that on Twitter.
You know what? Actually, if anyone from Backyard's listening, go over to Collector Caps and get yourself a Collector Caps t-shirt and put it on over that crop top.
Yeah. And grab a couple Collector Caps for the kids too.
Yeah, but definitely get that t-shirt on.
Get the t-shirt. Blaze pulled the Playbook Trevor Lawrence Vault RPA 101. Those Vault cards are like pretty insane looking.
They're good looking.
So Leighton, shocker, 2021 contenders, Luka Doncic championship ticket 101 auto. Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful. Pretty big card there.
Good looking one too.
Yeah, any Luka autos or Lulu autos are good.
His mom signs his cards, doesn't she?
Yeah, that whole
conspiracy. Isn't that the rumor?
Yeah, like the rookie stuff. And then Real Breaks had the Panini 1 Mac Jones Precision RPA out of 5. Those Panini 1 cards are pretty sweet. They don't sell the best, but some of the low number stuff is pretty cool. And then one that Jake forgot to put on, this guy at NaffyBoy13 pulled a Marco Luciano 2019 Bowman Heritage Orange Auto out of 25. That's me. Jake forgot to put that one on there, so...
I did. I just put it in clearing.
Clearing.
On the computer.
Yeah. So, that pretty much wraps up the high dollar sales of the week there. Upcoming drops, Bowman Mega Boxes, I think are pretty much on the horizon. Um,
Yeah.
Hobby wise, next week we should see F1 Dynasty as well as Select Football is also to be released next week. I think that's official.
You gonna
Um,
break in that new credit card of yours on F1 Dynasty or what?
Maybe I got to spend a little bit to get those bonus points, so why
Yeah,
not,
I
right?
think it's irresponsible if you don't get
Yeah,
some.
exactly. So we'll see if we see those on tops. The market's pretty crazy on those. There already was a leaked picture of a card. They used color photos this time with like the same kind of like white and black
Yeah,
background, so they look pretty sick.
yeah, they're good looking.
So hopefully hopefully we see those for like a quote unquote affordable price.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see.
yeah, I
And
doubt
still
it.
no
But
sapphire, so that's never happening.
yeah,
Um,
God, it's frustrating.
yeah, it's whatever. It'll happen eventually.
Yep.
But I think that's pretty much it. We're gonna switch over and talk with our buddy Matt ML. Matt is a little bit more in the background, I'd say, of the hobby. He kind of keeps to himself, but Matt's been doing this for quite a while, and we're gonna talk a little bit on just card shows, how we kind of operate, like where we see card shows going. It's been like pretty crazy with like card shows in general with how many there are. But we'll touch on that with Matt. So other than that, yeah, let's switch over and talk with the homie Matt. All right, we got the homie Matt here. So I'll give Matt a little introduction. Well, I kind of gave him a little introduction before we started this, but I said, Matt, you kind of were like a little bit more in the background of the hobby, kind of keep to yourself, but you've been in it for a little bit, doing some card shows and the whole retail thing that we talk about. But yeah, welcome to the podcast. Matt's one of our good friends in GFNF, one of the we'll call him the chef in the group
Yeah,
here. Matt,
Master Chef.
yeah, Matt's a pretty big retail botter. Um, but yeah, Matt, good to have you, dude.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, that was quite the introduction.
Mm.
You're not wrong, though. I do like to keep to myself, but we've been doing this for a while now, and we're just gonna keep rocking it.
Yeah,
Love it.
it kind of never stops with the GFNF stuff, but yeah, I would say like give a little bit of like what we kind of want to touch on here is just kind of like the card show scene. I know Matt, you kind of have like your little thing going on down in the Delaware area. I'm in Jersey myself, and like at least for me, and then Jake, you're out in Chicago. For me, like it's gotten like pretty overwhelming. Just the card show scene in general. Like there's weekends where there's like 4 shows in Jersey. Jake, I don't know if it's like as crazy by you, but
Oh yeah, there's shows every weekend, multiple shows every
yeah,
weekend.
it's
But
like, do you think it's like with like the amount of shows and Matt, maybe you could touch on like with Delaware, if you kind of have this like amount of shows as well. Do you think it's like just people trying to make quick buck with like renting spaces and making money on tables, or do you think they're just trying to get their own name out there? Because like the bigger shows and like the more common ones are kind of less, are not as often as these smaller ones, which I guess is just due to the actual like scale and logistics it takes. But I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? Like, do you think it's a good thing, bad thing that there's like, you know, like 10 shows in Jersey each month, and however many you guys have by you, or do you think it's like a healthy thing to have like these options to go around?
Well, dude, I
yeah,
mean, options are always a good thing, but I think, it's a little bit of both when it comes to people taking advantage and people trying to do the right thing. I know a couple of the shows around our area, during the pandemic and when things really started to heat up and people could actually meet, they were actually trying to do their shows more often. Some of these monthly shows were going to 2 weeks and stuff like that. But I think a lot of them have switched back by now and kind of realized that the quality is better than the quantity, and just that the attendance wasn't being as good, when they're having them so often. And I think these new shows, a lot of them, if they want to be successful, are going to realize too that it's good to be regular, but not so frequent that it's, more than once a month or whatever.
Yeah.
I've noticed. I don't know what you guys have noticed about different shows to me that I've been to, and some that I set up at and stuff. Depends on the buyers that are there, but it draws different crowds. There's some shows that seem like wax moves a lot easier than slabs, and another show where slabs and singles are moving, a lot stronger than wax is. You guys get that out by you, or is it pretty consistent across the board?
I mean, go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say it can be consistent for me, but I think it's also just depending on what time of the year we're at, and what's going on in the sporting world, who's where, more than anything.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I would it's weird because so Matt kind of touched on it, but we have the Philly show is pretty close to us, and that's probably one of the bigger shows in the country, and they do it twice a year, so it's not often that it comes around. And then I got shows by me in the Bordentown area. They've been doing that show forever. And I've set up there. I usually just go to try to buy. And it's the crowd changes each week. I think they do it every 2 weeks at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd changes. When I set up there, I would say it's mostly people looking for raw stuff to grade. I think that's kind of where the mindset of a lot of people are right now, especially with how Matt said, how the sports move and the markets move, with this whole PSA economy, events every 2 weeks or every week, 2 times a week. Right. I think it's kind of transitioned a lot of people into looking for more money making opportunities. Obviously, it's not like the $15 a card subs that you can do, but still $50 for a month and a half to get cards back. You're looking for people that are leaving money on the table, not to take advantage of them, but so people just don't want to grade cards. I have a buddy that he buys raw cards, but he just buys it to flip them. And he's good at building these big lots and getting deals from guys, and he'll just move it on eBay. He just doesn't grade. I've bought several cards from him that have gotten 10s, so he's leaving, he's leaving a lot of money on the table. But it's just not his type of market. And I think that's becoming a little bit more popular in regards to just raw cards in general. But yeah, I would definitely say I think it more heavily relies on what's hot in the sports world. Obviously we have football is starting to heat up. I mean, I can't go on Twitter without seeing a goddamn Justin Herbert card for sale or someone looking for Justin Herbert.
No kidding. Matt, what's your biggest mover at shows mainly? Is it wax?
Yeah, for me it's wax, but that's just based on what I'm selling. I mean, dude, around here it's the same as it is everywhere right now. If it's not a guy that wears 10 and is in the AFC playing for the Chargers, it's not really moving as easy as everything else. But
yeah. See, I've had some weird situations where, the hobby to me is very much alive. And I think it's picking up. I joked with you guys earlier about this, but I'm gonna give him a shout out because of how ridiculous this is. But just to show you, I mean, Hollywood, one of our members in the group, my good friend, he's moving stuff on my eBay right now. People are buying trading cards from Jurassic Park, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He sold Pizza Hut cards the other day.
That's literally obscene.
Who's out there looking for Pizza Hut cards?
Are they greasy as hell too? Do they come in a pizza box?
They're caked together, I think. But I mean, some of the stuff too, Lost, the TV show Lost season 1 cards, he was selling those, and not just trying to sell them, actually sold them.
I mean, do you think people are just trying to find the next big thing? Because it's at this point now where obviously
Pizza Hut cards? I don't know,
bro. Who knows? Maybe they got some new combo box coming out or promo or something with Star Wars
there's definitely a lot of that going on, but I feel like some of that stuff Hollywood's selling is just people are nostalgic because Jake said a lot of it's beat up too. I don't
it's not primo condition, but he texts me all the time just laughing hysterically at some of the stuff that's selling on there. But at card shows, in-person card shows, what I've noticed, at least the ones I do up here, if you display your table the right way. And that's another thing Hollywood does for me is he's a great organizer. If you have organized 4-row boxes with singles and stuff with, because we're ripping open. I think the three of us rip open some stuff. I know Nico and I do rip a lot, but don't throw away those base cards. Put them in a box. Put them in a 4-row box and make people will make offers. You have the old timers that are walking around with their, little notebooks with their handwritten checklists that they're trying
That's
to build
always
sets
literally
with.
so crazy to me. Like,
There's a little bit of everything at those shows, dude. You can definitely sell anything,
Sure. Yeah. Even Pizza Hut cards.
Or, I mean, you could sell them.
I won't let him put them on the table. Although
someone would make you an offer if you left those on the table with no price tag.
For sure. I'm excited to see where we got some big shows coming up around the country. I think that I've noticed. Obviously, the Dallas one. I think the Dallas one's coming up in 2 weeks again. Is your Philly show? Is that every other month, or is it every month?
No, it's like every
Twice
6
a year.
months. Yeah, I think the next one's not till September.
Interesting.
They do. There's another like organizer that does a Fishtown. So Fishtown's like part of Philly. It's like right next to kind of like Center City area. That guy's been doing it. I know there's another one on June 5th, I think. So
he's been at least 2 or 3 by now.
Yeah. This is like his third one. The second one at the casino there. It's pretty big. Like, it's not Philly show big. I went to the last one, but it's decently big. Yeah, I think this area, a lot of it's North Jersey. There's a lot of there's like a show in Wayne, New Jersey, Old Bridge, up that way. Honestly, yeah, shout out Wayne. There's not a ton like in South Jersey, honestly, like besides like the Bordentown one. So it's like pretty much like if you're down South Jersey, you're going Bordentown. I guess if you want to drive all the way to North Jersey, you can. But yeah, like Delaware, a little easier to get to, and then the Philly area. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. So I haven't been to the National before. This is gonna be my first one. Obviously, it's pretty sick that we, at least for me and Matt, maybe not for you, Jake. We get it local to us this year. But what's your guys' like game plan going into the National here? Obviously, aside from like buying a crap ton of whatever the best option is for panini packs,
right.
Are you guys going in looking to buy stuff to flip? Like any like PC cards, Matt? I know you've been going all in on some Sixers cards, with them in the playoffs. But what are you guys looking to scoop at the National this year?
Well, the one thing I won't be buying will be football, but everything else I'll be taking a look at. But just football should probably be around its peak then.
Yeah.
But I honestly, last year in Chicago, I took home some basketball, mostly basketball, but a little bit of baseball too, that I ended up making some good money on in a month or two, just, waiting on the seasons to change.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't do a ton of buying at the shows. I do some trading, and I'll make some pickups, but prices are at its peak during the National. It's just simple as that. So you're buying top if you're making bigger moves. Obviously you can find some deals, and there are some good plays to be made. But I will probably, to be honest with you, just buy some wax to degenerate rip with the boys. And
I mean, is there a better place to be a degenerate than Atlantic City, New Jersey?
Absolutely not.
Like there's no better place. I mean, to me, a show of that magnitude, it's impossible to not find a deal. Like
right.
If you're, and this is coming
especially towards the end of the weekend, dude. There'll be deals.
Yeah. I mean, coming from someone that's like probably the pickiest, I can't tell you how many shows I've gone to and have not bought a single thing, just because like I'm so kind of like I have such tunnel vision when it comes to this stuff. I kind of try to like stick to my guns. Like I won't buy a basketball card, even if like I somehow came across an insane deal. I just wouldn't know it, feel comfortable buying it. I'm just so tunnel visioned on certain things. I feel like trading is probably a good route to go. A show this size, just because obviously how many people there are. So you have a better chance of finding someone that's maybe looking for your stuff. For me personally, I'm going to be looking for some F1, obviously. I think it's going to be pretty hot at the National here. I started to liquidate a little bit of my stuff, just trying to grade and sell as much as I can right now to be as liquid as possible for the show, just because you never know what the hell's going to pop up. Like,
Dude,
Right.
trading off hype is a big deal, especially at
Yeah.
the National, which is fun to do. Like, for example, if the National was going on right now and you had your hands on some ones that you graded, some PSA 10 Ja Morant Chronicles with Dolph cards, I'd be if you're getting $500-$600 on those in trade, I would trade up on every single one of those because they're going to be $50, $60 a piece in a few weeks. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
trading off a hype and having something in your inventory that is just running at the time, and you see not being able to sustain, move it. Move into something else that you see sustaining. Definitely a good opportunity to do.
Yeah, I think like it's good to like, and this is kind of sounds a little bit corny, but like just like remind yourself what you're dealing with here. Like it's pieces of cardboard with people on it. So if part of it too, like obviously like we like to collect cards, but there definitely is a money making aspect to it, which I think all three of us are a part of. So having those opportunities and knowing when, obviously I've sold stuff early. Like Jake, I'm sure you sold stuff early. Matt, you
Oh yeah,
hold everything, so like you never sell stuff early.
I
Matt's the
still
king
sold a
of
couple
Dodge
things
Cam.
early in my day.
Yeah, barely, but like you're still selling 2020 prison football. Like I ripped all that,
Yeah.
like a degenerate. But yeah, it's like you gotta see what you do with the money you get from selling stuff. Like yeah, you could sell something early, but if you go and turn that into something else, you just want to keep rolling it into bigger and bigger things. And I think that's how a lot of people have built up their collections. At least for me, I didn't start with too much at the beginning, and kind of just flipped my way into what I have now, which I think is pretty cool. So it affords people those opportunities, and I think the National should be a pretty good opportunity to build that even farther. Or if you're looking to start, kind of I would call it like a bankroll, like you do gambling. It's a good spot to do that. But yeah, I think unless you guys have anything else on the whole like card show scene, I think that'll pretty much do it. Jake, you got anything else?
I think that probably it. Appreciate Matt coming on here and talking with us. I guess we're officially the card show boys now.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
For sure, Matt. And yeah, Matt will be at the Natty with us. I kind of like was thinking about it today. Like now that it's May, we're pretty damn close.
Oh yeah, we're coming up.
We're getting there, so it's gonna be pretty sick. Just another reminder for the Natty. Slumped is looking for a roommate, so if you need a roommate, hit up Adam. I know Matt's already got a roommate. Jake's got one. I have one. So
Yeah.
our boy Adam is looking for a roommate. Please help us out. But
Join
yeah,
the GFNF squad, or if you're already in the GFNF squad, bunk up and yeah, we're good to go.
yeah. And as always, you guys can connect with GFNF on Twitter at GFNF __ and Instagram, or hop on the waitlist at GFNF.io. Some pretty crazy releases coming up, and there's really no better spot to get your sports card information and benefit from all the other stuff we got going on there. If you're into the NFTs and buying lightsabers, it's definitely the spot for you. So, but we'll be back next week with another episode, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.